Morning, everybody. I just have to do this video. I have to do this video. I'm gonna talk a little bit about boxing, of course. Skin is peeling like that, and this is a very sober time. As I think about having my first boxing bout, you know, this stuff goes through my mind. And okay, all right. The, you know, we're gonna talk about some boxing, and I want to hear your guys' opinion and views on this as I stream this video. So I watched the Teofimo Lopez fight against Masayoshi Nakatani. Masayoshi Nakatani came to fight, but Masayoshi Nakatani was a good fighter. He wasn't on the level of Teofimo Lopez, even though I was listening to Timothy Bradley and I was listening to Andre Ward and also Joe Tessitore, and they were pretty much, surprised at how Masayoshi Nakatani was performing. He was catching Teofimo sometimes with overhand rights, sometimes with left hooks. He had a good jab in the beginning of the fight, he had a decent jab. When I looked at Teofimo, I don't think he's ready for Lomachenko. I don't think he's ready for Lomachenko at all. And that's just my honest opinion. He'll have a lot of tweaking to do to prove me wrong. He had a tough fight with this kid, but the kid was not on his level. And there are a couple things he should have done, but I don't know if he's capable of doing. The first one is he wasn't inside fighting. He won't inside. He was mid-range fighting at certain points in time, but he wasn't inside fighting. And when you get into a clinch, you should be stabbing that guy to his spleen. When you body him with your shoulder, you should be stabbing him in his abdomen. I saw none of that by Teofimo Lopez. He was constantly trying to box this guy from the outside, which was the guy's preferred range. When he started backing the guy up and he really started banging on him mid-range and on the outside, the guy folded. When he started pushing the guy back, the guy folded. The guy was standing. The guy was not trying to take a step back. But Teofimo has a lot more skill than that guy. Apparently, he and his father were surprised by Masayoshi Nakatani. But those Japanese fighters, man, they proven to be tough now. They could box some, and they proven to be tough. So Teofimo did well against the guy. The guy kind of backed up Teofimo a bit, had him on his back foot, was pushing forward, would stand his ground, would counter Teofimo Lopez at times. Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley were making a little bit too much out of what he was doing. I think Teofimo was dominating the fight, landing a lot of punches on the guy, but he wasn't really troubling the guy. He hurt him a couple of times. He buzzed him a couple of times, but he didn't really significantly hurt him. But nonetheless, Teofimo should have kept the pressure on him. At times, he looked like Floyd Mayweather in there, but again, the inside game, he had no inside game. I didn't see any inside game from him. And at short range, sometimes he would throw some really beautiful combinations, and then he would not go back to doing that. Either he was pacing himself, I don't know. Sometimes he'd stand up in front of the guy, and the guy would just stand up and look at him. The guy started to stop using his jab, so Teofimo was able to neutralize the guy's jab. He was throwing hooks and lead rights. He wasn't throwing a lot of jabs. But I was kind of surprised that Teofimo wasn't doing more work on the inside, especially on the inside. He would clinch up, and even in the clinch, you're supposed to be able to land some shots on that guy, and he wasn't doing that. So Teofimo, if you ain't got an inside game, Lomachenko gonna piece you up in mid-range, man. If all of you guys are mid-range game, you have to be an outside game. You're not gonna stand. And the other thing is, the shell is not to be used as the major form of defense. You have to have different looks. You have to be able to use pivot work. You have to be able to dip And I saw him starting to dip and do some things like Pernell Whitaker was rehearsing certain things, but you got to add more to your game. Your game was kind of static against this guy. Your father was right. That guy didn't belong in the ring with you. And when you started implementing the things your father told you to do, you was dominated. And then you just backed off. I don't know if mentally you thought my punches ain't doing nothing to this guy and you backed off on just watching him. But you never do that. You just keep bringing that shit, man. You keep bringing the thunder. You know, if your condition is not on point, of course, there is a problem there. But, I mean, you just keep bringing the thunder. I find this strange that I'm having no views on live. Just know there was somebody there and then it kind of just disappeared. That's a little bit on the weird side. But anyway, you know, YouTube might be doing me something on my channel. Or it's just maybe that I'm coming out talking things on my channel and nobody's there. It is what it is. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So, first of all, shout out to everybody. And if you're on my channel, don't forget to like what you see if you like it. And don't forget that you can also donate to my channel because I haven't had a donation in a while. You can donate to my channel via, I said I was going to get this done for online, so I'm going to try and get the online donations done. Shit, hold on a second. Somebody's broadcasting shit. They're selling something.
Yes, customer. All who looking against the man of the glass, check it out.
Just gotta wait for the guy to go. All right, back to what I was saying. So, yeah. So, at the end of the day, you know, I thought that Teofimo showed some limits to what he was doing. He didn't show me that he could fight on the inside, which was very important because this guy had reach advantage on you. And it's a lot of work to get from the outside to the inside. Once you get on the inside, you should be working on this guy. You should be putting in work, landing some shots to the body. And he wasn't really doing that. He was doing leaping left hooks. He was doing, you know, overhand rights. He was catching the guy with overhand right. The other thing was when you catch a guy with an overhand right over the top, you're supposed to pivot around the guy. And as he's turning in, you catch him with another overhand right. Or you catch him with a right to the body. And you tag him up with left hooks and shit. He wasn't pivoting around the guy either, which was very interesting. I don't know why that was so. Maybe he would be able to better describe, but you're supposed to be working that motherfucker. You know, Floyd, when he fought, I'm trying to remember the guy who was game as well. Big, tall guy, longer than him, was tagging that motherfucker, turning him. But again, Teofimo is a learning experience for him. As he moves up levels, he's going to realize, you know, the guys he was stopping and all of that, he can't do. I like how he tightened up his punches, though. He wasn't looping a lot of punches, which was very good. You can't rely only on the shell for your defense. You have to be able to use footwork to be able to find, to create movement and create the opportunities you need. Lomachenko is a very precise dude. And you still not ready for a Lomachenko because from what I see from your footwork and also from the just using one defense, which is the shell, Lomachenko will pivot around you and then he will smash you, man. You got because he turns a lot. So if you know, and Teofimo wasn't using the jab where he would need the jab to keep Lomachenko honest on the outside. So you need to use the jab as well. Timothy Brad was really, you know, just coming hard on Lomachenko about the jab. And he's you are telegraphing a lot of your punches, but you shouldn't have no respect for that dude because he not on your level. He just was not on your level. Anyways, having said that, that's easy for me to say because I'm an armchair expert. I'm just sitting on the outside watching this shit. He knows what was happening on the inside. He could see the angles the guy was throwing punches at and so on. And to be honest with you, after what happened last night on that same card earlier, I don't blame him. I think you play it safe. The sport is called Hit or Not Get Hit. Maxim Dadashev. Maxim Dadashev. We don't know what's happening to him. We don't know if he's dead right now. We don't know if he's gotten through surgery, if he's alive. He was fighting a fight against Subriel Matias and from Puerto Rico. And Dadashev is right now in critical condition in the hospital. Hopefully they stabilized him. We don't know if his life will be the same. We don't know if he'll walk again. And this has been frequently happening now in the sport of boxing. A lot more people are going into comas. A lot more people are getting traumatic brain injuries, tremendous traumatic brain injuries than ever before. I mean, I'm hearing a lot about this. The This is, I think, the fifth person who's gone into a coma this year. And I think there were three people who died from boxing this year. Okay? Three people who died in that ring. Just came out the ring and died. Okay? Zab Judah just very recently had a traumatic brain injury as well. Had to go get himself into the hospital where he had a brain bleed. So, and he was a prominent guy. So a lot of people, I think Adonis Stevenson, if I'm not mistaken, he got into the coma this year as well. So boxing is let me just explain to people, and people don't understand. You know, back in the day, I don't think as many people died in the ring as they do today. And all I'm trying to tell people, I've been explaining this shit to people for the longest while. This sport has gotten more dangerous, not less dangerous. There's a lot of the safety precautions. They lowered the amount of rounds. They did all of that shit, and it's still very, very dangerous. Okay, maybe not as many people are dying because of the emergency healthcare we have, but a lot of people, their lives are completely changed. And I was listening to Timothy Bradley's passionate statement on hit and not get hit. The sport's called hit and not get hit. And these fans, Timothy Bradley talked about it. How, you know, when he was facing Provatnikov, you know, he was trying to please the fucking fans. Fuck the fans. The fans don't understand. This is a sport where people, if they don't get badly injured now, later on in their lives, they're suffering from all kinds of traumatic brain injuries, and because of those traumatic brain injuries, a lot of health complications and health problems. And those kinds of things are serious. My boy, Get This Smoke, what's up, my brother? Get This Smoke is here talking about Teofimo Lopez. Yeah, I just pressed something and my phone went somewhere else. You're talking about Teofimo Lopez. Let's see what you're saying here. Teofimo half and no guard. Teofimo half and no guard. Shell and shoulder roll is going to get him messed up bad. Half and no guard. Oh, okay. So you're saying he didn't bring the half guard. He has the half guard. The half guard is the shoulder roll. It's the Philly shell. Yeah, I think the thing about it is, Get This Smoke, I think he's relying on the shoulder roll at times when you shouldn't be using the shoulder roll. You see, these guys, they're only one Floyd Mayweather, ladies and gentlemen. There's only one Floyd Mayweather. All right? There'll never be another Floyd Mayweather. And a lot of these guys, I know Teofimo, he came up from the Mayweather boxing gym, if I'm not mistaken. I was a little kid. And Teofimo, I don't know what was going on, but he's supposed to be able to know when to use that shoulder roll. And he's supposed to know also that you have to incorporate other guards. Two, you must distance control. You know, it's not just using the shoulder. And then the other thing is, he's supposed to use pivots with the shoulder roll. You can't just use the shoulder roll. You can't just be moseying up to people with the shoulder roll. And you have to know when to use the shoulder roll. It's not something that you use all the time. You know, that's the thing. A lot of people get confused with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather doesn't just use the shoulder roll. All right? Floyd Mayweather has several guards he uses in the sport of boxing. Several fucking guards. And just because you roll a punch doesn't mean you're using the shoulder roll either. And so there's a lot of misconceptions about Floyd. You know, he runs from fighters and all that shit. He don't do that shit. Floyd is a you know, Pernell Whitaker is a mystique. Floyd uses some of the techniques that the Michigan defense and stuff like that, but that's not all Floyd uses. And I remember doing a video on the several guards that Floyd Mayweather has. Okay, he got a lot of guards, man. You know, but I wanted to talk about this fight that happened last night. I don't know how many of you guys actually got to see the fight. Maxim Dadashev and Subriel Matias, right? And Maxim Dadashev, Buddy McGirt was the trainer for him. He got stopped. But right after the fight, he couldn't even walk. You know, he got very, very ill, very, very fast because his brain was swelling. And the last I heard was he was in the hospital getting surgery on his skull to open up his brain. He went unconscious in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. And I don't know if he's dead now. I don't know if he's what his state is. But this is becoming very frequent in the sport of boxing now. You know, like I said, we had 3 deaths this year, 3 deaths that I know about at the high level. And we had 5 people going into comas this year or having traumatic brain damage. Okay. All right. Let me just get the smoke and Poopy sits strong. Okay. And I want to get into boxing. I want to have at least a first professional fight or a first amateur fight. And I have to think about that because this is not a sport that is a sport. It's a blood sport. That's why I call it Teofimo and the blood sport. It's a blood sport. You know, Timothy Bradley said he put it very well. He told his wife, take a good look at me because you don't know if I'm going to come, because I'm not going to come back the same after you see me here. All right. And he said another thing, which is very serious. And you guys need to take this very seriously if you're going to enter into boxing at all. I don't care if you are with TBV, the boxing voice, or whoever you are. This is a serious fucking sport. OK. All right. So, and people are dying. I would say, you know, in the throwback days, people didn't die as much as people are dying today or getting in comas as much as today. I talk about the boxing gloves and all that shit. People are stronger today and they are bigger in the weight classes today than they've ever been. And I've seen guys, I remember Lamont Peterson, he staggered, got back up and kept on fighting. And the problem with these fighters is the mindset of these fighters is to just keep fucking going because they're used to pain. Right. And so it's very, very serious. This guy, we don't know if he's alive right now. I don't even know if he's alive right now. I'm waiting for the updates. Zab Judah, you saw what happened with Zab Judah. You saw what happened to Donna Stevenson. You heard what happened when the Italian guy got killed and the Mexican guy that got killed in the ring. I mean, this shit is common now. And you guys, you know, Timothy Bradley had a tremendous plea to boxers. He said, look, taking punishment is not fucking cool. The sport is called, the sweet science of the sport is hit and not get hit. And he talked about Pernell Whitaker, and he talked about Floyd. You know, these guys, and even then, you listen to Pernell Whitaker, and what did you learn? Pernell Whitaker was talking with a draw. He was talking with a draw, and he hardly got hit in the sport of boxing. And Floyd, if you listen to Floyd carefully, he has a slight draw as well. All right? This is not a fucking sport to go into to be fucking Rocky. Rocky Balboa is a fictitious fucking character. The body was not made to be hit like that. Okay? So all those guys, you know, oh, the fights are not exciting. And listen, boxers, for the boxers out there, if you're going to go box, please, God, I don't care if you're being a swarm or whatever. Learn how to bob and fucking weave. Learn how to swivel. Learn how to block punches. It's better even if you because even blocking punches, you're taking trauma because the punch, it hits against your guard, but it also hits against you. Okay, so learn defense, please. Learn defense in this sport of boxing. If you're going to go and step into that ring, I'm thinking about what'll happen to me when I step into that ring. Because I don't know if I'll come back out the same either. But I'm going to do it. You know, because I need to understand this sport more. I need to have a hands-on experience. I'm not going to sit down on no damn couch and just talk about boxing. I need to experience it so I can talk from a certain level of experience. And, you know, it could be my first and last fight, just as simple as that. It could be that y'all don't see me again. This is a reality about the fucking sport of boxing. Okay? It's serious, folks. And I listened to Timothy Bradley pleading with people, especially with the boxers out there, stop trying to please the fans and do what you need to do. You know, every boxer out there probably has a heart of a lion to a certain degree, and they'll do things. I mean, in the sport of boxing, everybody gets a bloody nose. Everybody gets a bloody mouth. That's why you got mouth guards, right? Because everybody gets punched in the face in boxing. There's nobody in boxing who doesn't get punched in the face. I don't care who you are. So it's a sport where it's brutal. You know, you're going to have injuries. You're going to have that. You never come out of boxing untouched. Okay. So at the end of the day, it's people who take punishment to dish out punishment. But the goal in boxing is not to take much punishment, unnecessary punishments especially. You know, you're gonna get hit in the sport of boxing. That's a Keith Thurman's gonna get hit, Pacquiao's gonna get hit. But the point is, you ever see the boxers when they go to the as the fight's about to begin, they kiss their trainers. Have you ever noticed that? They kiss their trainers. It's a gladiator sport. Boxing's a fucking gladiator sport. MMA doesn't have the kind of damage that boxing has. Right? You don't hear people wheeling out of the MMA going to the hospital for traumatic brain injury. You don't hear about that. Right? They can tap out. Right? A guy's choking you. He don't choke you to the very death. He don't choke you till you dead. Right? You get to tap out. Right? And if you don't tap out, the referee can stop the fight. Okay? So with MMA and all those other sports, okay, they're not blood sports. That is to say, it's very unlikely, even though people get serious injuries, that people are going to die in those sports. Boxing is the only sport where people die, and that's why they put regulations and rules, because the population began to see a lot of people die, so they started to change up the rules to make the sport safer. Floyd Mayweather is one of those people who was a pioneer of that, talking about random drug testing. And then they have the gloves, the Grant gloves that are now circulated almost everywhere because of perfect gloves, not only to protect the hands, but also try and protect your opponent. And because we got Grant gloves, people are actually hitting harder now. So they're hitting a lot harder. And the problem with this is, with accumulated punishment, which is what this guy had, because it's better if you just get knocked stupid out, right? A guy knocks you out, you take tremendous trauma, but it only happens in a short space of time. It's acute trauma, they call it. And so more than likely, you ain't gonna have no swollen brain. But it's accumulation of punishment, which is the most deadly form that kills people. Sometimes people, they survive some tremendous punishment in a fight. The referee doesn't start the fight. The fight's over. The person leaves. They go home, and they die. All right. This is how it goes. You may look normal all the way through, and to the end of the fight, no symptoms, no signs, and then all of a sudden you got a headache. All of a sudden you're dead. Okay, that's how boxing goes. It's a very, very serious sport. We as boxing fans might like boxing, but you have to understand how serious it is. This guy that I'm just talking about, I don't know if he's alive or dead right now. He had emergency surgery. He went into a coma. Seconds matter in this shit. Okay, and he was sitting down on the steps talking to Buddy McGirt. He started talking senselessly. They took him away. He could barely walk. They put him on a stretcher. He was put into the ambulance. They were talking to him. Then he lost consciousness. I don't know if he's dead now or if he's alive. They did an emergency surgery on him. We don't know. Okay? And that's why I came in saying this is a very serious video I want to talk to you guys about, because, we, the fans, need to appreciate the sport of boxing and what it is we're seeing and what we're getting. And the only way you guys are going to appreciate it is if you do it. If you do this sport, then you're going to appreciate what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about going and sparring in some ring and playing it's great sparring and I'm captain them out and I beat people. Because sparring is not about that to start with. I'm talking about, because all of y'all got this testosterone. All of y'all is men. All right. All of y'all want to use that testosterone, burn it off. It's the best thing in the world. The sport of boxing, best thing in the world to burn that testosterone off. Okay. Because you're going to get hit too. All right. I don't care if it's sparring. I don't care what it is. You're going to get hit. And that's going to mellow you out. Okay. And why it's a great sport is because for more violent people who have been using guns and killing people, and people who use guns, I call them cowards, man. I call you a coward. They used to back in the day do fisticuffs. You know what I'm saying? We used to ball up your knuckles and you used to just have a good fight to settle something. Nowadays they don't do that no more. All right. Now bare knuckle brawls. That shit is bloody, right? It's extremely bloody, but it's not. It's depending on how strong your hands are, it can mess up your knuckles. So actually, you can actually mess up your knuckles and mash up your hand, like what happened with Paulie versus I forgot what the guy's name is. But yes, street fighting, or what we call knuckling it up and dealing with the situation, it's a man-to-man. It's a fair way of exchange, but it's also dangerous. Okay, it's better you get knocked out than you take a beating in boxing, or they call it ass whooping. It's very dangerous. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. Poobie says strong. Dillian White versus Joe Frazier. Who you got? That's an interesting fight. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Get the Smoke says Fraser in one. They're left hookers. Dillian's a smart boxer. He's not just gonna go in there and try and plow over Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier will be a much smaller boxer than Dillian White is. Joe Frazier was like 180 something. And Dillian White's 200 and something pounds. And Dillian White can box pretty well. I don't know. That's a good fight. That's a good fantasy matchup. And Joe was a tough dude. He's a Philly fighter. You know he's gonna fight to the very end. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good fight. Get the Smoke says Buddy McGirt and the doctors may have saved his life. Well, we don't know. I don't even know if he's alive right now. Right, this guy gonna live. You guys are taking for granted. You think this guy's gonna live. He lost consciousness inside the ambulance. Okay? He's in a coma. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? They're going to give him the best health care. And another thing Timothy Bradley was so 100% correct, and I remember Floyd saying that, is that is only your family going to look out for you right now. The fans don't care about. Half of you guys ain't even going to talk about this. I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to talk about it because this is a fight that needs to be talked about. You understand what I'm saying? Hold on. Because this is the side of boxing. This is what Floyd was talking about. You know, he said, hey, fuck greatness. Fuck greatness. Fuck popular opinion. Fuck that. Because y'all ain't gonna be talking. I've seen so many great fighters, right? Bobby Shakan. Bobby Shakan can hardly talk properly. Bobby Shakan. Y'all know who that is. And some of y'all know, right? Nobody talks about him. They had to raise money for this dude. All right? And you know why I feel so passionate about that? Because my ass had to get in the ring. I got to get in the ring. I'm not just a fight fan. I'm one of those fight fans who got to get his ass in the ring, and I don't know what'll happen. Okay? Y'all don't have to get your ass in the ring, so y'all don't care. But I care. You know what I'm saying? And I wish more fight fans would get their ass in the ring, you know, so that they would appreciate the sport and respect the Gerald McClellan. Come on, man. Come on, man. Just recently did a Puerto Rican boy, too. Very promising fighters. Wrecked. And they're still fortunate to be walking around alive. Now there is hell on earth to live after that, you know, because you wrecked. All right? I heard about so many fighters in sparring alone that got wrecked. Completely wrecked. Their career's over. Nobody talks about that shit. Right? But you know what? We need to have fighters fight more every year, like in the throwback days. Yeah, but they're hitting harder. And if you have mismatches like that, there'll be more deaths. More people will die. For what? You know what I'm saying? Might as well spar with protective gear and bigger gloves and get paid still in some training camp. You know what I'm saying? And even if you are, you know, early in your professional career, sparring is better for you than entering into that ring and getting messed up by a professional fighter who has a lot more experience and hits hard. Are you kidding me? Unless y'all guys got to get into the ring, you're not going to think about this shit like that. You're going to think about it like a fan. You know what I'm saying? An illiterate fan at that. Get this smoke. Artem Lobov. Yeah, man. Exactly. Hybrid 95 says Joe outworks him. Are y'all talking about a fantasy matchup still? Joe outworks him, in my opinion. He had such great conditioning. Yeah. I could see that. Because Dillian White, you know, he's kind of like he still got that little body fat on him. And he don't move that well. That's true. Get the Smoke says, may have saved his life. I know. It's touch and go right now. You guys, let's say a prayer for this dude, right? That he makes it out and at least he has a reasonably normal life after this, okay? Because look, guys, we gotta care. We as fans, we have to start caring for these fighters because nobody ain't gonna care about them. And you know, we like to talk about, the fighters, they have to look out for their interests, but we want the matchups we want to see. Well, if you want the matchups you want to see, you better care about these guys after, because like I said, I think I did a video two videos ago. I did a video talking to you guys about what happens after a boxing fight. You know, guys got to ice down and all kinds of things because a lot of inflammation, especially when you get hit with a liver shot. You peeing blood. You damage your liver, motherfucker. You damage your fucking liver. You just cut off a couple of years of your life. You got to understand, this is boxing. Timothy Bradley talked about that Provatnikov fight took many years off his life. He said he was walking and he was talking with a slur. He had so much bad brain damage, and they oxygenated him and stuff, but he still got probably scars on his brain. He got brain scars from the membrane slamming into the skull like that. You guys got to understand, this is boxing. It's a brutal sport. It's a blood sport. Okay, no matter what you've seen with these guys on the television, they're going at it and you say, oh, heart and soul, they're damaging each other. They're hurting each other bad. All right, and I try to explain to people because the fans don't understand this. After a boxing fight, these guys need weeks to recoup. They may look okay and walk around, but there's a lot of damage done to them in the insides, and it's slowly healing back. And these guys hit so fucking hard now, you know, and it's so much bigger. Think of this. A super lightweight walks around now like a fucking middleweight. They go into that ring as small middleweights. That's what we're dealing with now. Small middleweights face each other, and it's now called super lightweight. The lightweights, like Terrence Crawford, they're small middleweights too. They walk around at 155. Some at 160. They're bigger now. So the guys back in the day, they used to keep true to what lightweight was supposed to be, 135. They were 130. Willie Pep and all these guys, Henry Armstrong, they were lightweights, but they were small lightweights. Okay? Small guys. Manny Pacquiao walks around 151, 149, 148. He said he could still make lightweight. He can still make 135. Of course he can. Of course he can. Because guess what? The 135 pounders, like Teofimo Lopez, they walk around 160, 155. Teofimo can hardly make lightweight now. All right, he ready to go up to super lightweight. They're bigger, so they're stronger. They hit harder. So if you're trying to get them to fight more fights per year, do understand you're putting them through more damage. It's not the same. The weight classes are not the same as the same day weigh-ins they used to have back in the day. These guys are a lot bigger. There are very few true welterweights. Floyd Mayweather was a true welterweight. Walked around 147. He was had to be 146, 144. He used to try and maintain his weight. There are not any true welterweights anymore. The guys who are calling themselves welterweights are middleweights, super middleweights. All right? So what I'm trying to explain to you guys is Keith Thurman is going to be much bigger than Manny Pacquiao. Significantly. He walk around somewhere around Antonio Margarito's weight. Antonio Margarito, right, was a welterweight, but he was walking around 160, 164. Mosley walked around 160, 165, 167. All right? All right. So Hybrid 95, shout out to you. Poopy Sistrunk. Shout out to you guys. Buddy McGirt and the doctors may have saved his life. Pac-Man looked old against Broner. Okay. Get the smoke out of him. Okay. Joe, Hybrid 95 says Joe outworks him, in my opinion. He had such great conditioning, right? Get the smoke clarified. He said, I said may have saved his life. I hear you, man. Not Hybrid 95 says salute though what you need and get the smoke. Salute to you, Hybrid 95, man. Thank you so very much. Hybrid 95 adds in Gerald McClellan. Yeah, so much promise. Wrecked. Okay. Wrecked. Get the smoke says at Hybrid. What's up, man? Hybrid 95. Floyd made it look easy. Love. His fight against Marquez is some of the best boxing I've ever seen, especially considering Floyd came off a 2-year layoff. Followed in the footsteps of Pernell Whitaker, man. In that respect, Pernell Whitaker used to make it look so easy as well. Very smooth fighter. Very, very flamboyant in defense, and he used to make you miss. That's why he called it the Matrix. He used to make you miss. He wouldn't block. He blocked shots, but he didn't block it. And like Floyd would block most of the shots or roll punches and stuff like that. That wasn't really his thing. He said he told Georgie Benton That ain't my thing. I can't really do that. So he had his own unique style. Get this smoke. Fury was allowed to continue the same night Stevenson went into comatose. Fans and pros praised Fury's performance and very little on Fury's health and well-being. Well said. Well said. Touche. Well said. Get this smoke. I wanted to say that I'm thankful that Adonis Stevenson, he's alive, but hopefully he can at least do the basic minimum, be able to eat on his own and move around a little bit. Even if he doesn't go back, Superman doesn't come back to boxing. At least we hope as fans that he'll be able to at least do the basic things. So it's not too much of a burden on his family, and it doesn't cost so much money. Because guess who has to pay for all of that? He might have made a ton of money, but then he might have to spend that ton of money back on healthcare, rehab, and all of that. And then they say the boxers shouldn't go for prize money. They fight for free. And, the great days back in the day when boxers used to fight and not worry about money and all that stuff. Come on, man. Like, for real? What happened to those boxers back in the day? They had tragic stories. Joe Louis, he had problems with the IRS. You got to think about your finances, man. He had problems with the IRS. Very generous guy. How'd he end? His life ended in diabetes and broke. Sugar Ray Robinson ended in a hospital. His life ended up in a hospital. Diabetes, took over him. And he died in a hospital. Man, fuck that, man. Fuck what they say. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to nobody, but I had to use the F-bomb. Fuck what they say. Listen, the boxers need to look out for themselves. You know what I'm saying? You gladiators, yes. You put your life on the line. You sacrifice so much for the sport of boxing. They want to say, oh, Floyd this and Floyd that. Fuck them. I'm glad Floyd is living life, and he earned that. He earned that, and I hope more boxers can have what he had. Maybe not on his level, but I hope more boxers earn what, And I like what Deontay Wilder talking about with PEDs. Ban them for life. Ban them motherfuckers for life, because you using PEDs in a sport which is a blood sport to improve your performance, to be able to beat people in. Fuck them, man. Ban them for life. Deontay's right. He's right. You know what I'm saying? And let me just say, I'm thankful that Floyd Mayweather said what he said about the sport of boxing. They try to make it sound like he was using PEDs. Floyd didn't use no damn PEDs. What would he use PEDs for? You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. The dude was legit. The dude, I'm talking about Floyd. I probably don't want to talk to him so much about Floyd because I don't want this to be about him. But him, Whitaker, Roy Jones Jr. Roy stayed a little too long though. He got a draw. But Roy Jones Jr. All these guys. Hit and not get hit. James Toney, Andre Ward, Bernard Hopkins. Listen, man, they could say what they want. Oh, they're boring about. Shut the hell up, because these guys had a long career, very successful career, didn't take so much damage, so they don't have to worry about later on being Bobby Shakan. You know what I'm saying? Evander Holyfield, on the other, he took a lot of punishment, so brother better look out for himself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's catching up to him already. All right, man. Marcus said Floyd was the best he's ever been in with by far. Too many tricks. Yep. Floyd on a different level, folks. I told you he's the best ever. He said he's the best ever. He really is. He really is that. But like I said, when somebody says something and they back their shit up, it takes people a while to catch up to it, because a lot of people are, and then maybe how he came across to the public, even though I don't think personally that he's proud. Floyd don't look like he's a proud guy. He's a humble dude. I just think that Floyd was just very outspoken as a black person, and they didn't like that. Get this smoke. Pernell Whitaker is the same thing. Get this smoke says Canada has free healthcare, don't they? Yes, sir. But it don't mean shit if you don't. If you're about to die, it don't mean nothing. I mean, it could be free. That's good. It don't cost you no money. That's good. But then you still don't have that quality of life you used to have. You know what I mean? That's tough, man. Get this smoke. I really got mad props for Vinny Panzienza. They told him he wouldn't walk again, and that motherfucker got back up. That's a mindset. That's a boxing mindset this brother had. He was a fierce dude and got back and forth at the highest level. Vinny Panzienza. And I think, if we can inspire some of these boxers like Adonis Stevenson, all these other guys. Get their minds to a place. You know, Christopher Reeves, I always remember Superman. Christopher Reeves, he always believed that he would get back and start walk again. And he didn't accomplish it, but the fierceness caused progress. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward. We gotta think about all the different boxers who got themselves damaged and stuff, and try to encourage them with letters and stuff. You know, if you're really a true fan of a boxer, you send them letters, you send them stuff, or you email them or whatever, and you stay with them to the very end. Good, through the good and the bad. Sean Porter's my dude. I've been a fan of Sean Porter for a very long time, even when he wasn't losing like that, you know. And I'm still a fan of Sean Porter. And I told people Sean Porter was one of the 4 boxers who will rule the welterweight division. I was right. But Sean Porter probably now, after seeing this, he probably saying to himself, that's why my career gonna be short. I ain't trying to do what Floyd and they did. You know, I ain't trying to do what Pacquiao do. Hell no. I gotta get out of the sport. Get This Smoke says, I thought you were literally taking a piss. I was. Get This Smoke says, must have been running water. No. So I was taking a piss. Get This Smoke. Freddie Roach had almost no Freddie Roach had almost no defense, and that's why he is in the state he is in right now. He got pains all up his back. He said he has a lot of pains in his body because what happens is when your brain is affected, it affects all the nerves going down your spine, all the nerves in your body. You know, Freddie Roach was an offensive guy. That's correct. And he paid the price. Boom Boom Mancini. You listen to him, he still talks with a drawl. That fucking boxing talking voice. Yeah. Muhammad Ali, the best to do it. Took some unnecessary punishment late in his career. What happened? The greatest of all time couldn't even fucking walk properly. And they say it was Parkinson's. Maybe, but it was induced by the punishment he was taking. That's the point. You know? And so if Muhammad Ali, who is the greatest, you know, went through that debilitating disease as a result of his boxing, then please, ladies and gentlemen, do not take punishment where you don't need to take punishment in the sport of boxing. You're going to take punishment anyway, but I'm just saying, you know, you have to put your body through all that stress already, all right? Then you're going to take punches on top of that. Then, like Timothy Bradley said, he was dehydrated. The dude was dehydrated going on later on in the fight. You got dehydration, fatigue. You know, for me, my 40-year-old body, right? My 44-year-old body. When I'm dehydrated, I have what is called fish eyes in my foot. That is some serious, like they're like corns or like hardened parts of my feet that go all the way up in my foot and hurts my foot like crazy. When I hydrate, it's better, and I use like a cocoa butter. I use it on the foot, and I have to dig out these things. They're like in your foot, and then all my joints hurt. Right? Remember, I do a job where I'm constantly doing cardio because I'm selling water. I'm moving around in the sun. And when I dry out like that, man, and just imagine now taking punches on top of that shit. Oh, fuck no. Fuck no. You're going to get messed up. And then a lot of guys now, they're so much bigger than the weight class that they have to dehydrate to get down in weight. So they lose 25 pounds of water in their body. But mostly hydrating. So they hydrate. Your body functions well once it has water. So even if you're losing weight, once you're properly hydrated and most of your body mass is water, then the electrolytes can move through your body very well. All the nutrients can move through your body very well. So you end up, you know, doing just fine. Okay? But when you are fucking dehydrated, that's when the problems really begin. And then your body's like messed up like crazy. And you can really do some serious damage to your body. All right? They have you use in fights. They have the fighters sipping water as they go from round to round. That's to hydrate them. And they found out that later on. So you might say, well, what happened to the throwback days when it was going 40 and 50 rounds? Okay, motherfuckers, let's talk about that. So what used to happen back in the day is boxers would box each other, yeah, 40, 50 rounds, but not at the pace that they do today. And I tell you again, guys were smaller then, okay? So they didn't hit as hard either, okay? And even with protective gloves and all of that shit and protective headgear, motherfuckers still dying in the ring today and getting badly damaged in the ring, okay? So when people talk about, oh, we need throwback fights, listen, boxers. For those who do boxing, fuck them, okay? Boxing's become more precise. Guys are much more healthier than they ever have been, and they're bigger, and they're stronger, and they're faster. Don't play with that. Don't play. Don't talk about like getting hit. Look at what happened to Brandon Reels, right? And Brandon Reels had to stop his career. Okay, you know, do not. It's not cool to take unnecessary punishment. It's not cool to take punishment. Period. So, and Floyd was absolutely correct. Pernell Whitaker would tell you the same thing. Andre Ward would tell you the same thing. Timothy Bradley would tell you the same thing. Listen, man, it's all about the sweet science. It's about hitting and not getting hit. Okay? I know people love knockouts and all of that, but listen, man. And they like to see people fight and just keep on going. But trust me, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Not for the boxer. So if you're a boxer out there, please take care of your body and yourself by not getting hit. Practice some defense. Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that I want to make this a featured bout. We're going to try and follow up on this dude and see what's going on with him. But as of now, I can tell you it is critical. And we just praying that he will live, and we're praying that his life will be somewhat normal. Okay, that he would have a somewhat normal lifestyle. That's what we're praying for. You guys need to pray for this dude. You may not know him, but just pray for him. The other fighter, it could also psychologically mess with that guy if he knows that he killed somebody in the ring. So that's another thing. You know, Deontay Wilder talk about catching the body, but let me just be honest with Deontay Wilder. You don't want to know you killed nobody. You don't know. I don't give a fuck what you say. You don't want to know you kill someone in that ring. You know, just because the old time greats killed somebody, fuck that. Nobody want to know this. You want everybody to go home safe. Everybody go home safe. Okay? You know, because you want that fighter to earn his money, get his money, and live to see another day. He's earning his money, you earning your money. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you want them to earn their money and go home. They know that you never return home the same way you left and went to the ring. You never once you sparring in boxing, you know. But boxers actually don't have that a normal lifestyle. It's a very singular thing. You're looking out for yourself. You alone. It's a lonely lifestyle to start with. You know what I'm saying? That's right, Mike Perez. Oh yeah, he killed a guy. In fact, he took some unnecessary punishment too from Povetkin. You know, he got knocked out. Like Povetkin knocked his ass out. Sergey Kovalev is going to be facing Anthony Yard. Anthony Yard and his trainer better make sure that everything's good because he's going up in Russia. Sergey Kovalev is going to have everything at his advantage there. And Kovalev has killed somebody in the ring already. So Anthony Yard better know what he's doing. This is a sport which can kill you. You can die in there, okay? It's not just going out on your shield. Literally, you can go out on your shield and be dead, okay? It's a gladiator sport. So that's what I really wanted to talk to you guys about, more than the Teofimo Lopez stuff, more than any other boxing match. And even once we watch the fights tonight, you guys do understand these guys can die in that ring. And so it's very important to understand that. You know, the boxers, if you look at them in the corner, they kiss their trainer. There's a reason they kiss them, okay? And that trainer is like, you know, he's looking out for the life of the fighter because the fighter is not going to be able to see how his condition is deteriorating. It's the trainer. It's the doctors. It's those people. You know, sometimes they say the referee called a fight too early. You know what? Fuck that. Better you call it early, the fighter can fight another day, than that fighter takes one punch too much or one punch too many and go in a coma. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know. Your body be swelling up over those punches. You see how everybody get puffy eye. Not everybody swells up the same way, but some people get puffy eye and stuff, and all kinds of shit happens, man. So anyway, man, peace to you guys. Deuces to you guys. I'm out of here. But do bear that in mind and have a great day. I see you guys still doing fantasy matchups, and that's cool. If you want to throw in some more fantasy matchups, great. But this is what I wanted to talk about, the blood sport of boxing. This is not a fucking game. It's not like you don't play fucking boxing. It's for real, folks. All right? Have a good one, man. Deuces. I'm out. Peace.